This is the Greek holiday island of Kefalonia, where we'll be enjoying a short break and checking out the local wildlife. First impressions indicate a verdant island, with steep hills and narrow, winding country lanes. The roadside verges and numerous small meadows were often crowded with colourful wildflowers. The villages seemed a strange mix of opulent properties, standing alongside derelict and half-built houses and abandoned vehicles. The base for our holiday was the Panos Hotel, located in the village of Spartia. The towering Mount Anos dominates the landscape. The Greek islands often seem overrun with stray cats, and Kefalonia is no exception.
One at the end with a bad eye.
Strikingly coloured Balkan wall lizards frequently emerge from the tangles of vegetation which they use as cover. Inevitably, there are a few road casualties. On just one occasion we saw a Montpellier snake whiplash into the undergrowth, and elsewhere we found a skin that had been cast off. The jay seemed to be the most common corvid on the island, and one of them dropped this decapitated slowworm into the lower branches of a tree. The variety of wildflowers attracted a number of butterflies, although the range of species was not as diverse as we might have hoped. Among the most common were some familiar UK species, such as the meadow brown, painted lady, speckled wood and small copper. Another common butterfly, but one which certainly won't be found in Britain, was the eastern dappled white. The clouded yellow was also numerous. This large and striking carpenter bee was a species observed frequently. A migratory locust was spotted on just one occasion, a substantial insect of fully 3 inches in length. These relatively small longhorn grasshoppers, seen here on nasturtiums, were plentiful. And there were swarms of ants, which were often busy around their nest holes. Here, they've created a distinct track through the detritus. This large and beautiful convolvulus flower was locally plentiful. In one place it had completely smothered a pair of trees. A male woodchat shrike was sometimes perched on wires a short distance from the hotel. Its prey on this occasion was a centipede. In addition to the familiar members of the swallow tribe, we saw alpine swifts and these red-rumped swallows, which rarely make it as far as the UK. Other interesting birds seen during the holiday included bee-eaters and a solitary hoopoe. We paid a visit to the capital town of Argostoli, where a stone footbridge separates the open sea from a large saltwater lagoon. A couple of cruise liners had discharged large numbers of visitors. Several fishing boats had returned to port with the morning's catch, and gulls were competing with loggerhead turtles for the scraps that were thrown overboard.
Right there.
Small grey mullet were plentiful in the harbour, and the fish seen here were probably browsing on algae growing on the stalks. A handful of crabs had emerged onto the sloping walls of the stone footbridge. On another day we visited the picturesque Posada Port, probably only half a mile from the hotel as the crow flies, but a good 2-hour walk along the winding tracks and lanes. A few more butterflies were added to the telly, including common blue and holly blue. And there was also a skipper, although I'm not going to attempt to guess the identity of this one. A southern comma was a good find, a butterfly which is noticeably more sparsely marked than its British cousin. A few Cleopatras were on the wing. And this butterfly was impossible to identify with certainty. It could be Berger's clouded yellow, or it might just be the pale Hilisi form of the common clouded yellow. Time to take in the spectacular view across the Zante one last time, before the homeward journey begins. The journey back to Leeds Bradford, we're treated to a final view of Argostoli, where the footbridge is plainly visible.